So let's try to learn about memory management here. Okay, so when we start a Java application, some memory is allocated to it, and this memory is divided into different sections. So let's first try to study those sections today. Okay, the first one is the method area. Here, metadata of classes is stored. Metadata, like so metadata of classes is stored. It is shared across all threads. Second is the heap memory. We already learned about this. So it is the largest part of the overall memory that a Java application has. So it is divided into two parts: young generation and old generation. Okay. Now the young generation is again divided into some parts. Okay. First one is Eden space. Whenever you create any object, initially it is created in the Eden state. Then we have survivor spaces. So those objects that survive the garbage collection, they will transfer to the survivor spaces S0 and S1. Okay. And then we have the old generation. The objects that have significantly lived some life, they are transferred into from young generation to old generation. Okay, so this is stack, this is heap. Now we have stack. We also learned about this earlier as well. Each thread has its own thread stack, and they store local variables, method calls, and references. This is what is stored in the stack, and each thread has its own copy of all these three, and they are not shared amongst stacks, or you can say amongst threads. Okay, each thread have their own copy, they're not shared with each other. Then we have address of currently executing instruction of, so which instruction in which thread is currently being executed, they hold this information, and they help in thread maintaining the execution sequence. Okay, so this is the fourth part of the memory. Then there is native method stack. This part of the memory is used by the JVM for interacting with native operating system resources, and they also contain information about native method calls. For example, we can execute C++ and Python code in Java using the native API. So this is where that information is stored. So whenever an object is created on, it is referenced from somewhere in some of the stacks. So if this connection breaks, means that this object is not referenced anywhere, it becomes eligible for garbage collection. This doesn't mean that immediately it will be garbage collected. When the garbage collector cycle will run, then it may get picked. Okay, there is a chance that it may get picked. There is a chance it may not get picked as well. Okay, so there is a method System.gc. You can call this method. So this method can only suggest to the JVM to run a run a garbage collection cycle. There is no enforcement on the JVM to run it immediately, but it can give a suggestion, and based on suggestion, the JVM may run a garbage collector cycle. Okay, so there are many garbage collector algorithms. So the first one is serial garbage collector. So it is a single threaded garbage collector. It is suitable for small applications. Then there is parallel garbage collector. So it runs multiple threads for garbage collector in the young generation. Then there is concurrent merge sweep. It only minimizes garbage collector pause time for applications requiring low latency. And the fourth one is G1GC. It divides the heap into regions and then collects them differently. So based on different region, it runs different cycles of garbage collector. These are the common garbage collector algorithm that the garbage collector can run. Okay. Now there are phases of the garbage collector. So the first phase is mark. Here it identifies referenced objects. Okay. Second is sweep. So here it removes all unreferenced objects. Okay. And third is compact. Here it reorganizes the memory. So when you start a Java application, you can pass some parameters to configure the memory. For example, you can pass the XMS parameter to set the initial heap size. Okay. Then we have Xmx variable to set the maximum heap size. We have Xmn parameter to set the size of young generation. There are some GC configurations as well. For example, if you set XX, it will enable the G1 garbage collector. Okay. If you do plus, it will enable the parallel garbage collector. If you set minus XSS, you can configure the size of the thread tags. You can also configure the meta space size. So it sets the meta space size, and you can also set the max meta space size. It will set the max meta space size. So these are the some very basic and elementary parameters when you start your application Java minus jar or Java and the class name. You can pass any of these parameters, especially these ones, and you can configure these behaviors. But each of these parameters already have a default value defined in Java. So if you don't configure anything, that will get configured. Okay. So yeah, this is there.